killed them. What do I want to say? I've been to Palestine a dozen times since 2004. I've been to Gaza only twice because, as I said, it's a hermetically sealed open-air prison. No one in, no one out. They don't like it when journalists go there as well, especially journalists who are not affiliated with corporate establishment media. So I've only been able to get in twice. But the last time I was there was a year after Israel imposed the economic blockade, which is still in effect under Obama's watch 1 year later. It was in effect since June 2007, when, after which it was preceding that, of course. Why did Israel inflict this blockade, the suffering, suffocating blockade in which 360 people, I believe was the figure yesterday, have died because they haven't been allowed out to get medical treatment. We're talking people with kidney dialysis and who need chemotherapy, and children with wounds from all the assaults and the massacres. Why is Israel blockading them? Well, so there's this great thing called democracy, which we as the United States like to give, donate, help expand all over the world in the language they use. What that really means is more imperialism and colonialism, but I digress. So we wanted change to come to Palestine. We wanted Palestinians to have a democratic election. We sent Jimmy Carter over there, once again, to help count the ballots. And the Palestinians said, we want reform, we don't want corruption anymore. We're gonna vote, for representation. We said, great, go for it. Then what happened? They did. Oh no, but they voted for the wrong guys. So what did Israel? They voted for Hamas, right? Legitimate political party who was in opposition against Fatah, which has been working in collusion with the Israeli military, the Israeli government, and the United States up until today. Palestinians voted in a different party, and they were slapped with collective punishment, which is also under the Fourth Geneva Convention, an international war crime. The borders were sealed, 2007. They began banning all sorts of basic necessities, medical equipment. There's a list of 90 medications that Israel will not let into the Gaza Strip. Why would they do that? What's the security justification for that? Books, musical instruments, almonds, diapers, maxi pads, paper, pens, batteries, cigarettes sometimes, wheat, pasta, rice. All these things are banned now under this 2.5-year-old blockade. When I was there last, it was a year after the blockade began. I was there in June 2008. Blockade began in June 2007. And and fuel. So Israel was not letting fuel or water into the Gaza Strip. When I was there a couple of years before, the streets, I said that it's like 1.5 million people in this tiny little strip of land. It's one of the most densely populated places on earth, if not the most densely populated place. And the streets, I remember in 2005, were just clogged with cars and people all over the place. When I was there in 2008, there was maybe one car every 5 minutes passing the street because no one had fuel, right? Okay, cars, all right, fine. People got around on foot, bicycles. But what about fuel for electric generators? I went to sewage treatment plants where they had to actually stop processing raw sewage because they didn't have any more fuel. So they started dumping millions of tons of raw sewage into the Mediterranean Sea, which was the only place they could dump it, which in turn toxifies the sea, which in turn toxifies the people who try to fish in the sea. Israel only lets fishermen 6 nautical miles offshore, which is very, very shallow, so they can only catch very small, like sardines, before Israel starts shooting at them from permanently stationed gunboats. So people were getting sick from these toxic fish. And also hospitals had to be run on generators. Sometimes the generators would run out of fuel. I went to go visit a hospital, Al-Awda Hospital in Jabalia refugee camp, which services 300,000 people in one tiny area. I went to go look at their pharmacy. I went around with the pharmacist, and he showed me the cache of medicine that he had left. And this is a hospital that serves, you know, 1/3 people. And this was before this latest invasion and massacre. He had this much, I have a picture of it, this much anesthesia left in his entire hospital. It was like, you know, these little boxes of IV bags. Because at the top of the list of 90 banned medicines was anesthetics. So I got the impression, and he actually said this, that Israel is literally trying to make the Palestinians feel as much pain as possible for exercising their democratic right under occupation in one of the most free and fair elections the Arab world has seen for decades. So what do we do with all of this? I have 2 minutes left. What do we do? Okay, hope is a passive condition over which we have no agency. We can't hope that these bombs stop falling. We can't hope that these medicines show up at Al-Awda Hospital. We can't hope that my friend gets a textbook through the crossing. We have to make sure that this happens. And I think as students, especially as students, there are so many things that you can get involved in right now. It is the students who led the anti-apartheid movement against South Africa. The students who led the free speech movement across that way. Where am I? I'm over there, in Berkeley, where I grew up. Right now, next week I'm going to Boston, Amherst actually, to Hampshire College, where we're having a national student-run, student-led, student-organized boycott, divestment, and sanctions conference. This is how we do it. This is taking us as agents of change out into the mainstream. We can't wait, you can't hope for Obama to do anything on Palestine. He's not going to. He's recycling the same policies that his predecessor has. We have to take it upon ourselves to make sure that that money doesn't go to the Israeli military, that these student bonds, that these colleges that we're involved in don't invest. The Regents funds always invest in Israeli bonds. Don't let it happen. We have this agency to make change happen, and we can do it. And I'm 31, but I still look like a student, so I'm going to infiltrate your group because I think that you guys are the most energetic and the most effective agents of change in this situation. And so get involved. There's a great website set up how to make your own boycott, divestment, sanctions group at your own college. Go to bdsmovement.net. And if you can make it out to Amherst next week, I'll be there along with many, many other beautiful agents of change at Hampshire College. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kajal. I've been a DVC student for almost 2 years. I'm applying to UC Berkeley this semester. I wish I had your energy. I'm trying. The reason why I'm actually here today is basically to give a little reminder to everybody because I was back at my home in summer 2009. Right after the election, the presidential election in Iran. I was born and raised there. I moved to the United States almost 3 years ago. And this summer was the second time that I was actually visiting home after 2 years. And I remember 3 years ago when I left home, I told myself that what if my country goes through a change and I'm not able to be there with them? Well, my dream came true. I went back home and there was a change. There was a huge, huge change. And I'm hoping that everybody saw what was going on. We had a presidential election. 85% voters turnout. It's huge, it's big, not that many countries get that.